preseason week number 1 as I transition to the actual football talking part of the program. So we've got the Lions and Chargers. We already talked about that. We saw a couple teams in action, which is cool. Everyone else gets in action this week. And the plan for some of these teams is what the big story is, specifically with the first team that you want to talk about here. And that is the Cincinnati Bengals. You have talked ad nauseum on the slow starts. Everyone has, and it's been obvious, right? It's the 0-1, 0-2, 0-3 starts, and the offense takes a little while. Joe Burrow, like a majority of his interceptions, it seems like, comes early on.
Definitely, right.
They are changing their strategy. Zach Taylor and company going to play Joe Burrow preseason week number 1. Sounds like they may even play some snaps as the preseason goes on in game number 2, TBD on that. But your reaction when you heard the Bengals kind of shifting their philosophy?
Well, I like it. Of course I like it, right? I mean, they're one that I feel like is a team that wasn't like hitting on all cylinders when a season started. I mean, even the years they went to the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game, right, and lost to the Chiefs and the Rams in the Super Bowl, they didn't even start off great those years either. This has been a real issue. So, yeah, I like to hear that. The other thing, too, is this is not necessarily like a huge veteran team that we go, well, they've been to the Super Bowl a bunch of times and they got a bunch of old guys. They know how to play. No, I mean, they're not. Joe Burrow, Trey Hendrickson, they're some of the oldest guys on the football team, right? That's it. But there's a lot of other young guys there. And I felt like not only have they not been hitting on all cylinders to start a year the last few years, the other part of it, and we've discussed this at length too, is I feel like they've been a little too basic to start seasons, right? Where we've gone like, hey, this is still like the beginner's part of the playbook. And then all of a sudden we get to week 5 and week 6 where they start to get desperate. They got to win games. Things open up and you go, oh my God, where was this offense to start? Why weren't we desperate in week 1 to do this? Not everybody's the same, right? They're not. And, I watched quarterback this last year with Netflix, right?
Yeah.
And I just got done like last week. And Joe Burrow, at the end of the year, he's kind of like talking like, man, I wish this year wouldn't end. I just feel like I'm just keep going. I'm going. Well, the goal would be to kind of feel like that early in the year, right? That would be the goal. And some players are different. Some players don't need a lot of game reps and can still go out and play in the game and be comfortable. I can tell you, I was a guy that needed game reps. If I didn't get game reps, I would get out there in the real game, and I was just antsy. I didn't feel comfortable. Oh, gosh, are they going to hit me? I wasn't used to all the chaos around me. And I think that's what game reps can do for a quarterback, at least right off the bat, is just get you into a part of like, hey, the clock in your head, the moving in the pocket. We talk about sometimes when you're in the pocket as a quarterback, it's a series of snapshots. It's not like it's a slow motion movie. You get to see Jamar Chase, and then somebody's in your face, and then you're like, oh, I see him again, and then he's going to disappear again. And there's some nuance to that, right? So I think it's, of course, important to them. They're going to have to rely on the offense as it looks. We don't expect their defense to hit the ground being one of the top defenses in football, right? And I do think we're getting into an era here where I think we're going to see teams play guys a little bit more in the preseason because of the rules, the lack of being able to play full-speed football all the time, wearing full pads in training camp, where I'm not saying you're going to see the starters play 10 series or anything, right, but I think you're going to see a little more concerted effort throughout the league to go, this is one of our few opportunities to let guys tackle, hit, really play football. We got to take advantage of that, and we've seen some successful teams do that, like the Kansas City Chiefs who do it every year, and good to see the Bengals do that as well.
I think you have some coaches who probably think, or I know who they think, that you can simulate enough of that game environment in either your practice or the joint practices, which are full contact a lot of times, and the starters play a lot more in that than they do in the preseason game. You don't think that's possible. There's too much that goes on in an actual game with the refs and the fans and the lights.
I do. I think so. And also I think that sometimes in those practices and stuff, things are basic too. Like the defenses aren't quite like game planning and doing crazy stuff to where now you get out in the game and it's like, things are a little different here. I don't know what to expect, right? So I think there is that aspect as far as going into it that way too. I was going to bring up another point too about what you said there.
Able to simulate the game environment.
It's hard to simulate, and especially for the quarterback. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Because the quarterback still, even in those scrimmages and stuff like that, where you go, Okay, great. I still know I can pat the ball in extra time and get a completion and go, oh, look, I got the completion. When in reality, if that was a real game, I don't know, I might have got hit, strip sacked, and fumbled. And I'm not sure if that's really the way it would have gone down.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's hard to simulate. I was in a year where John Gruden took that approach. It was the year I lost my spleen, and I didn't start off the season well. We weren't an incredibly deep team. And I think he was worried, like, man, 1 or 2 injuries to our team and we're in trouble, right, on the offensive side of the ball. And I think he looked at it like, yeah, I'm just going to practice them really hard and try to do it that way. But I know when I got in preseason game number 4, just a little bit, I was not comfortable. And then in week 1, we had to play the Ravens, and that still continued, right? So I think you also have to depend on your team. We've seen the Rams not play their starters. The Rams have generally been a little bit of an older, mature team too, right? So it's worked out for them a lot of years.
Yeah.
Stafford's played a lot of years. Cooper Kupp was there, right? I mean, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, they had guys that were kind of like, hey, they're pros. They know how to play. We don't need to, they got a lot of experience. I'm not sure we need to play them a lot in the preseason here, right? So they're one of those few teams that's like that. That's a little bit of the West Coast way a little bit altogether. But no, I'm still about, iron sharpens iron. You got to get out there and play a little bit to get used to being in football shape and football toughness a little bit.
We'll get to see Cam Ward play for the Titans because we found out that the Titans plan to play Cam Ward and other starters in all 3 preseason games. This is their championship. They're like, we don't have a chance at a regular season division title. We're going to win the preseason.
Well, you got a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
It's a huge year for Brian Callahan because I think, another year like they had last year, and he's on the hot seat and he gets fired, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to go like, well, you went 4-13, but you had a rookie quarterback, right? Nobody gives a shit about that anymore. So I think he realizes, hey, rookie quarterback or not, we have to show improvement here. And I got to get my quarterback used to playing football. Plus, he's a guy that came from Cincinnati who's probably seen a little bit like, damn, that crap ain't working. And we did that a little last year, and that crap didn't work either. So I got to change my approach here. And this is, again, where I would say, in a lot of key positions, it's a little bit of a younger football team. So he wants to get them out there, get them ready, and make them competitive right off the bat. Yo, homies, what's up? Thanks for watching Cris Simms Unbuttoned. And just because the weather's warm doesn't mean football ain't still on our brains right here.
We are still working, so smash that subscribe button. We got all the training camp news, preseason news, everything up until kickoff night.
Thanks for watching. And again, remember to hit that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.